Have you ever found yourself scrolling through social media, noticing friends' vacations, achievements, relationships, or even the small things they own, and suddenly starting to question your own life? If so, you are not alone. Almost every person experiences this instinctively at some point. But why do we feel such a strong urge to compare ourselves to others? This question is not just about social media. It has deep evolutionary, psychological, and cultural roots. Historically, human beings have relied on comparing themselves to others as a survival mechanism. In the ancient world, being aware of who had more resources, who held higher social status, or who possessed certain skills could mean the difference between life and death. This constant comparison allowed early humans to assess risks, make strategic decisions, and secure their place in their social group. Even today, although our environment has drastically changed, our brains still operate using similar mechanisms. The brain's reward system plays a central role in how we react to comparisons. When we see someone more successful, more popular, or more attractive, our dopamine levels are affected. Dopamine can either inspire us to improve ourselves, or if we feel threatened, trigger a sense of inadequacy. For example, if a colleague receives a promotion at work, one person might feel motivated to work harder while another might spiral into self-doubt. Both reactions stem from the brain's position yourself response, an ancient survival mechanism that has been repurposed in modern social contexts. However, modern life amplifies this mechanism to an extreme degree. In the past, comparisons were limited to our immediate environment, family, friends, neighbors. Now, social media exposes us to thousands, even millions of lives and achievements instantly. Our brain, built for smaller-scale comparisons, struggles to process this constant influx. What used to motivate survival and growth now often creates stress, anxiety, and chronic dissatisfaction. Studies have shown that people who constantly compare themselves to others online experience higher levels of depression and anxiety than those who do not. We can categorize comparison into two main types: upward comparison and downward comparison. Upward comparison occurs when we compare ourselves to someone better off. This often lowers self-esteem and increases stress. Downward comparison happens when we compare ourselves to those worse off, which may temporarily boost our mood and confidence. The problem in today's world is that upward comparisons dominate our daily lives. Seeing curated highlights of others' lives online can make us feel like we are constantly falling short, even when our achievements are significant. Why do some people compare themselves more frequently than others? The answer lies in a mix of personality traits, upbringing, and early social experiences. People with high self-esteem are generally able to observe others' successes without feeling threatened. They take inspiration instead. Those with lower self-esteem, on the other hand, measure every small success against perceived inadequacies, which can create a constant cycle of dissatisfaction. Families and cultural environments also reinforce this habit. From childhood, messages such as "look at how well your friend did" or "your cousin is more successful" train the brain to measure personal value relative to others. Comparison becomes almost automatic when evolutionary instincts, brain chemistry, and environmental conditioning combine. But what are the consequences of this habit, both positive and negative? It affects mental health, self-esteem, and even physical well-being. Properly managed, comparison can serve as motivation, a tool for growth, and a learning mechanism. Left unchecked, it can lead to anxiety, chronic stress, depression, and an inability to appreciate one's achievements. Later, we will dive deeper into the chemical, emotional, and behavioral consequences of comparison in the brain, exploring how it manifests in daily life and, most importantly, how we can break free from measuring our value by others' standards. By the end, I encourage you to reflect on your own experiences, because this topic impacts all of us in one way or another. the effects of comparison on the brain are both immediate and long-term. When we engage in upward comparisons, looking at people who appear more successful or happier, our stress centers activate. Cortisol levels rise, heart rate accelerates, and the body reacts as if facing a potential threat. This is an evolutionary holdover. In early human societies, seeing someone more powerful or higher in status was a signal to either adapt, compete, or retreat. Today, this threat is psychological, triggered by social media, work environments, and daily interactions. Upward comparison doesn't just produce short-term stress. It affects the brain's reward and punishment systems, altering our chemistry and emotional state. When we feel we are falling short, dopamine levels drop, serotonin declines, and temporary unhappiness sets in. Repeated exposure can normalize these negative emotions, creating a cycle of chronic dissatisfaction. Over time, confidence declines, motivation diminishes, and even minor setbacks can feel catastrophic. Essentially, comparison can unintentionally become a tool for sabotaging our own happiness. Yet comparison is not inherently bad. When used consciously, it can inspire growth and self-improvement. Seeing a friend excel at a sport, master a skill, or achieve a goal can motivate you to take action, set new objectives, and learn from their example. The key is to view comparison as a tool, not a threat. Awareness, self-reflection, and reinforcing personal value are essential. Recognizing your own strengths and celebrating achievements allows you to gain perspective and reduce negative effects of comparison. Daily life offers many practical ways to manage comparison. Limiting social media consumption, documenting your own progress, and measuring yourself against your own past rather than others' accomplishments are effective strategies. Psychological research shows that individuals with higher self-awareness are less affected by comparison and tend to report higher levels of life satisfaction. By focusing on your personal journey, you not only protect your mental health, but also boost confidence and motivation. In summary, comparison is an innate part of human nature and cannot be completely eliminated. However, it can be regulated and consciously applied. Shifting the focus from others to personal goals, growth, and happiness allows comparison to serve as a tool for development rather than a source of stress. Measuring yourself against your own progress fosters resilience, satisfaction, and emotional well-being. I'd love to hear from you. Do you frequently compare yourself to others, or have you learned to focus on your own path? Share your experiences in the comments, because discussing these patterns can inspire both you and others. If you enjoy learning about psychology and human behavior, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Turn on notifications to stay updated with our latest videos. Liking and sharing this video helps spread awareness and encourages others to reflect on their own lives. Remember, discovering your own value instead of constantly measuring yourself against others is a skill, and it starts with conscious awareness.